They chased perfection beneath Hollywood's blinding lights, but instead, they lost everything, including themselves. Once iconic faces, etched in memory as legends, are now unrecognizable after shocking transformations that left fans gasping in disbelief. These stars stand as chilling reminders of how the pursuit of beauty can spiral into tragedy, twisting fame into something dark and haunting. In today's episode of Exposed Hollywood, we reveal 30 plastic surgery disasters that turned beloved celebrities into strangers, even to their most loyal fans. Brace yourself, because some of these transformations are so shocking, you may not believe your eyes. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the hidden truths lurking behind Hollywood's brightest stars. Mickey Rourke's story with plastic surgery isn't just another Hollywood tale. It's a saga of survival, reinvention, and heartbreak. Unlike most stars who chase cosmetic surgery to fight aging, his journey began for one reason: to rebuild his face after brutal injuries. At the height of his stardom in the late 1980s and early 1990s, with films like 9.5 Weeks and Angel Heart, Rourke stunned the world when he walked away from Hollywood. He wasn't fading, he was chasing an old dream: professional boxing. For Mickey, the ring wasn't a hobby, it was a calling that had burned since his youth. In the 1970s, he built an impressive amateur record, knocking out opponents and earning respect. As a pro, he remained undefeated in 8 bouts, 6 wins, 4 by knockout, and 2 draws. On paper, it was a triumph. But the cost was staggering. The ring shattered the very thing that made him a Hollywood heartthrob: his face. Rourke endured broken noses, a crushed cheekbone, a split tongue, and even memory loss. The rugged jawline and smoldering looks that once defined him were replaced by bruises, swelling, and scars. Reconstructive surgery was no longer a choice. It was survival. But here tragedy struck again. The first surgeries failed. Desperate to regain his old appearance, Rourke went under the knife again and again. At least 5 nose surgeries. A major operation on his cheekbone. Procedures meant to heal ended up reshaping him into someone unrecognizable. Years later, Rourke admitted the haunting truth: "I went to the wrong guy to put my face back together." What began as a medical necessity turned into a cosmetic nightmare. Today, Mickey Rourke is almost a ghost of his former self. The chiseled features that once defined Hollywood masculinity are gone, replaced by a face molded through countless surgeries. Fans who remember him as the brooding leading man of the 80s are often shocked at his transformation. Yet, beneath the scars and the whispers, one truth remains: Mickey Rourke is still a fighter. He fought in the ring, he fought through Hollywood's cruelty, and he continues to fight for his identity. His story is both a cautionary tale and a testament to resilience, a reminder that survival sometimes comes at the cost of beauty, but never at the cost of spirit. Jocelyn Wildenstein, the woman the world calls the original Catwoman. Few socialites have commanded as much attention, or controversy, as Jocelyn. For decades, her feline-inspired look has fascinated tabloids, puzzled beauty critics, and sparked endless debates about the limits of transformation. Now in her 80s, she's still a living paradox: unforgettable, untamed, and unapologetically unique. But here's the twist. Jocelyn insists her look isn't the result of a surgeon's scalpel. No, according to her, it's all about good genes and her proud Swiss heritage. High cheekbones? Smooth skin? Cat-like eyes? She says it's all natural. Yes, you heard that right. Switzerland may be famous for chocolate and watches, but Jocelyn swears it also blessed her with timeless beauty. Of course, not everyone buys it. For years, whispers in fashion and gossip circles have claimed she spent millions, some say over $4 million, on procedures to sculpt her iconic face. Tight skin, dramatic cheekbones, almond-shaped eyes. Critics point to facelifts, brow lifts, and eye surgeries as proof. The rumors may never die, but Jocelyn simply laughs them off, standing firm in her story of natural-born beauty. Beyond the surgeries, or the lack of them, her life has been just as dramatic. Once married to billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein, Jocelyn lived at the heart of New York high society, basking in wealth and extravagance. Their divorce, one of the costliest in history, made headlines around the world. But what made her a cultural phenomenon wasn't her fortune, it was her transformation. Love her or hate her, Jocelyn Wildenstein has cemented her place as an icon of extreme beauty culture. Whether you believe in her tale of flawless Swiss genetics or the rumor mill's version of a multi-million-dollar makeover, one thing is certain, she's unforgettable. And like the feline muse she resembles, Jocelyn was never meant to blend in, she was born to stand out. Jayne, the so-called real-life Barbie, has turned transformation into an art form and a controversy. At just 33 years old, the Melbourne native has spent an eye-watering fortune chasing her ultimate vision of beauty, reinventing herself piece by piece until she became impossible to ignore. Picture this, strutting through city streets in a neon faux fur coat, a tiny crop top, and skin-tight leather pants. Tara doesn't just walk, she demands attention. Her makeover is no simple story of one surgery. It's a staggering list: 5 breast augmentations, 6 nose jobs, endless Botox injections, and enough fillers to sculpt a new face. Each tweak, each enhancement pushes her closer to her dream of becoming a living, breathing Barbie doll. And she doesn't shy away from the spotlight, appearing on shows like Botched and Mirror Mirror, proudly defending her choices and flaunting her ever-changing look. But Tara's journey isn't about blending in, it's about standing out. While others chase natural beauty, she chases a fantasy. Her next goal? Breast implants so large, 1,500 cubic centimeters, that even surgeons warn her petite frame may not survive the strain. Doctors caution her about health risks, but Tara shrugs it off. To her, beauty is power, and her body is hers to transform, no matter the cost. And that's where the debate rages. Is Tara a fearless symbol of self-empowerment, or proof of obsession gone too far? Love her or hate her, one thing's undeniable: she is rewriting the rules of beauty unapologetically. In her own words, cosmetic surgery offers endless possibilities. And for Tara, the journey isn't over. The world is watching, step by step, as she pushes the boundaries of transformation further than most would dare. Farrah Abraham, from teen mom to transformation lightning rod. Farrah Abraham, once the wide-eyed face of Teen Mom OG, has become one of reality TV's most polarizing figures, and not just for her off-screen antics. She's never hidden her love for cosmetic enhancements, but in late 2022, one single selfie lit the internet on fire and reignited a storm of debates about just how far she's taken her transformation. The photo seemed innocent enough, a festive holiday snap in front of a glowing Christmas tree. But fans weren't looking at the decorations. They were stunned by Farrah's face. Her skin looked unnaturally flawless, her cheeks impossibly sculpted, and her lips fuller than ever. The image spread quickly to Reddit's Teen Mom community, where longtime viewers poured out concern and blunt opinions. One fan sighed, "I wish she'd stopped after the first nose job. She was naturally gorgeous." Another chimed in, "She didn't need all this. Her early beauty was enough." Farrah's cosmetic journey has been an ongoing spectacle since her MTV debut on 16 and Pregnant back in 2009. Just a year later, she underwent breast augmentation. By 2013, she'd added a nose job and chin implant to the list. From there, it only grew: lip fillers, butt injections, and countless rumored tweaks. To her critics, it's a cautionary tale of chasing perfection too far. To Farrah, it's simply self-love. She's been unflinching, insisting time and again that she adores the way she looks. And yet, speculation never stops. In August 2022, she posted a playful video of herself and her daughter doing the viral tortilla challenge. But fans weren't laughing at the tortillas, they were zeroed in on her face, convinced she had gone under the knife once again. As always, Farrah neither confirmed nor denied. Her metamorphosis has divided audiences for more than a decade. Some say it's tragic, others call it empowering. But one truth remains: Farrah Abraham knows how to keep the spotlight. Whether you admire her bold reinventions or long for the girl she used to be, her name has become inseparable from one of reality TV's most dramatic and endlessly debated makeovers. Dennis Avner, forever remembered as Catman, lived a life that blurred the line between human and myth. Born in Michigan, Dennis wasn't just another face in the crowd. He was a Navy veteran, a skilled computer programmer, and a man deeply tied to his Native American heritage. But his destiny shifted at 23, when a shaman told him to embrace his spirit totem, the tiger. From that moment forward, Dennis made it his life's mission to transform into the predator he believed lived within him. It began with tattoos, bold stripes carved into his skin to mirror the power and grace of the great cat. But ink was only the first step. With the help of body modification pioneers like Steve Hayworth and Shannon Larratt, Dennis embarked on a journey few could even imagine. 14 extreme procedures reshaped his body. Subdermal implants gave him feline contours, his nose was flattened, his ears pointed, his teeth sharpened, and even a mechanical tail was added to complete the illusion. He was no longer just a man. He was the embodiment of a tiger walking among us. And yet, behind the whisker tattoos and piercing gaze, Dennis led a surprisingly ordinary life. He worked quietly as a programmer by day, but by night his otherworldly appearance made him a global curiosity. From Larry King Live to Ripley's Believe It or Not, he became an icon of transformation, ultimately earning a Guinness World Record in 2008 for the most permanent body modifications to resemble an animal. For Dennis, this wasn't a stunt, nor was it about fame. It was spiritual. He often said his transformation was about honoring his heritage and finding personal fulfillment. To the outside world, he was shocking, an extreme example of human reinvention. But to himself, he was whole. Dennis Avner's story is one of the most astonishing in the history of body art. Whether you see him as a visionary, a warning, or something in between, one truth stands above all. Catman lived, and died, on his own terms, proving that human transformation has no limits, except those we dare to imagine. Rachel Napier, when beauty turned into a nightmare. In today's world, where beauty trends flood social media and Kardashian-inspired looks reign supreme, Rachel Napier's story is a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers behind the quest for perfection. At just 29 years old, she attended what was advertised as a glamorous Botox and filler party, a night meant to be fun, affordable, and confidence-boosting. But what Rachel expected to be a quick touch-up turned into a life-altering horror. During the procedure, a single mistake changed everything. The injector accidentally pushed filler into an artery, a catastrophic error with instant consequences. Rachel awoke in unbearable pain, her lips grotesquely swollen to nearly 4 times their normal size, so large they touched her nose. Rushed to the hospital, she was met with stunned doctors who had never seen such a reaction. The diagnosis was devastating. The filler had blocked blood flow. Their warning was stark: remove it immediately or risk losing her lips forever. What followed was months of agony. Rachel endured grueling emergency treatments, and though her lips eventually returned to a semblance of normal after 3 excruciating months, the scars ran deeper than the surface. The physical ordeal was only the beginning. The emotional trauma lingered, leaving her painfully aware of how dangerous these so-called quick fixes can truly be. But Rachel refused to let her suffering be in vain. Turning her pain into purpose, she became a fearless advocate for cosmetic safety. She launched petitions, spoke publicly, and lobbied for stricter regulations to ban untrained injectors from performing high-risk procedures. Her mission is simple yet powerful: to protect others from the nightmare she endured. Rachel's message cuts through today's beauty-obsessed culture with sobering clarity. No trend is worth sacrificing your health. In a world hungry for instant results, her story is a haunting reminder that some mistakes don't just fade, they last a lifetime. Mioku's name is forever etched into history as the woman who injected cooking oil into her own face. Addiction comes in many forms, but for Hang, it wasn't drugs or alcohol, it was beauty itself. Once a stunning model and singer, she seemed to have everything. But at just 28, her desperate pursuit of eternal youth sent her spiraling into one of the most shocking plastic surgery tragedies the world has ever seen. What started as a few simple cosmetic enhancements quickly snowballed into a dangerous obsession. Moving to Japan, she chased procedure after procedure until doctors finally refused to touch her. By the time she returned to South Korea, Her transformation was so extreme her own parents could barely recognize her. Though she briefly sought psychiatric help, Hang abandoned treatment and hunted for any doctor willing to feed her obsession. She found one, and it changed her life forever. That surgeon handed her silicone and syringes, trusting her to inject herself at home. For a time she did. But when the silicone ran out, Hang's desperation reached horrifying new heights. She turned to cooking oil. The results were catastrophic. Her face swelled grotesquely, scarred and unrecognizable. Headlines around the world branded her story both shocking and heartbreaking. Donations poured in, funding more than 10 reconstructive surgeries. Some of the injected substances were removed, and doctors managed to reduce the size of her swollen face. But the damage could never be undone. Today, at 60, Hang lives a quiet life in South Korea, far removed from the glamour she once knew. She works in a second-hand clothing shop, relying on government assistance, her deepest wish still to see her original face in the mirror again, something doctors admit may never be possible. Her story stands as one of the most haunting cautionary tales in the history of cosmetic obsession. What began as a simple desire for youthful skin ended in permanent disfigurement, shattered dreams, and a lifetime of regret. In the pursuit of beauty, Hang Mioku paid the ultimate price. A reminder that sometimes, the cost of perfection is far greater than anyone could ever imagine. Rajee Narinesingh, the woman who survived cement injections. Rajee Narinesingh is more than an actress, singer, writer, and LGBT activist. She's a survivor whose story stunned the world. Behind the bright lights of her reality TV appearances lies a harrowing tale of beauty turned into nightmare. Rajee first captured public attention on the reality series Botched, where she sought help after unlicensed cosmetic procedures left her disfigured and in pain. What was injected into her body wasn't medicine, it was madness. Cement-like substances, tire sealant, mineral oil, even glue. These toxic fillers scarred her face, chest, and hips, leaving her to battle not just physical agony but a shattered sense of self. The turning point came when skilled doctors on Botched managed to remove much of the harmful material, giving Rajee hope for recovery. But her journey was about more than surgery. It was about identity, resilience, and survival. With a rich heritage that blends Indo-Trinidadian, Afro-Trinidadian, French, and Polynesian roots, Rajee embraced her truth as a transgender woman in the late 1990s, stepping boldly into a world that often punished authenticity. Her nightmare began in 2005, when she turned to O'Neill Ron Morris, a well-known transgender figure in Miami, for cosmetic enhancement. But the procedures used unregulated, dangerous substances that left Rajee disfigured and desperate for corrective surgery. What could have ended her life instead became the catalyst for her courage. Through safe, medically supervised treatments and unshakable determination, she fought back, reclaiming not just her body but her spirit. Today, Rajee's story is both a cautionary tale and a beacon of hope. She warns against the dangers of unlicensed procedures, while using her voice to inspire others to embrace safety, self-acceptance, and perseverance. Her openness and advocacy have touched countless lives, proving that even in the aftermath of tragedy, it is possible to rebuild confidence and reclaim dignity. Rajee Narinesingh's journey is more than survival. It is a testament to resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest chapters of cosmetic obsession, the human spirit can rise, heal, and shine again. Laura Avila, a beautiful dream turned into a nightmare. Laura Avila's story stands as a haunting warning about the hidden dangers of cosmetic tourism. What began as a hopeful journey to enhance her beauty without breaking the bank turned into an unthinkable tragedy. She traveled to Mexico, planning a simple rhinoplasty and breast augmentation. But instead of walking out of the clinic with renewed confidence, she never walked out at all. During anesthesia at a clinic in Ciudad Juarez, Laura suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. Reports later revealed shocking negligence, anesthesia administered improperly, safety protocols ignored. The consequences were devastating: brain swelling, kidney failure, and eventually, her heart gave out. What should have been a routine procedure spiraled into a fatal nightmare. For her fiancé, Enrique, the tragedy was unbearable. Their wedding, once planned for the sunlit beaches of Tulum, would never take place. Instead of saying vows, he scattered her ashes into the sea where their love story had first begun. Now, he is left with grief and a relentless quest for justice, determined to hold those responsible accountable for what he calls criminal negligence. Laura's untimely death is not just a personal loss, it is a chilling cautionary tale. The promise of cheap beauty treatments abroad may look tempting, but the risks can be catastrophic. Her story reminds us of the importance of research, verified credentials, and understanding every possible complication before trusting our lives to foreign clinics. Laura Avila's legacy is heartbreaking yet vital. She wanted beauty, but instead she became a warning, a reminder that the pursuit of perfection can come with life-altering consequences. For Enrique, honoring her memory means not only cherishing the love they shared but also ensuring that her story saves others from the same fate. Pete Burns was more than a pop star. He was a spectacle, a man whose life became a living experiment in beauty, obsession, and transformation. As the flamboyant frontman of Dead or Alive, he made the world dance with "You Spin Me Round" like a record. But behind the glam rock exterior was a relentless pursuit that would consume nearly everything he had. It all began innocently enough, a nose job to fix an old break. But that single surgery sparked an obsession that spiraled into nearly 300 procedures, a staggering number that left even his closest friends stunned. While most struggle through recovery from just one operation, Pete lived in a continuous cycle of surgeries, infections, and complications. Doctors warned him. Friends begged him to stop. But he pressed forward, unshaken, chasing an image that existed only in his mind. With each transformation, his face became more unrecognizable, a canvas of constant reinvention. Admirers and strangers alike often struggled to see the man he once was. To Pete, though, it wasn't disfigurement, it was art, defiance, and individuality in its rawest form. His appearance was his armor, his statement, and his rebellion against a world that demanded conformity. But the price was steep. The surgeries drained his fortune, strained his health, and at times, pushed him to the brink. Yet through it all, Pete never hid. He flaunted his look with fearless confidence, strutting on stage and on television with the same flamboyant energy that first made him famous. He lived loudly, unapologetically, daring the world to look away, and failing. When his story ended suddenly from natural causes, it closed the chapter on a life defined as much by transformation as by music. Pete Burns remains a paradox, a cautionary tale of obsession, but also a symbol of audacity, the courage, or madness, to push beyond every limit in pursuit of self-expression. Today, his legacy isn't just the unforgettable beats of Dead or Alive, but the haunting reminder of a man who risked everything to be unforgettable himself. Anastasia Pokreshchuk, the woman who injected her way into fame. Born in Kiev, Ukraine, Anastasia's cosmetic journey started innocently enough, with Botox, veneers, liposuction, and jawline sculpting. But what began as routine procedures soon spiraled into one of the most extreme transformations the world had ever seen. At just 26, Anastasia chose a path few would dare to tread. Fueled by an obsession with facial perfection, she turned herself into both patient and doctor. With nothing more than online tutorials and her own research, she began injecting her own face, meticulously sterilizing needles and convincing herself she was as careful as a trained professional. The results were shocking. Her cheeks swelled to dramatic proportions, becoming her trademark. Instead of hiding them, Anastasia flaunted them, proudly chasing the title of the woman with the world's biggest cheeks. Her bold defiance of beauty norms made her an internet sensation, captivating millions and sparking global debate. Doctors warned her repeatedly of the dangers: nerve damage, infection, even disfigurement, but Anastasia stood firm. In interviews, she radiated confidence, defending her choices as art, self-expression, and personal branding taken to the extreme. Her story is both fascination and warning, a glimpse into the risks of unchecked cosmetic obsession, but also a testament to how far someone will go to create an identity in the age of social media. Anastasia's transformation blurs the line between beauty and obsession, between creativity and danger. Love her or fear for her, one thing is certain: her face, her story, and her daring pursuit of notoriety will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching Exposed Hollywood. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the stories that push the limits of fame. See you in the next one.